Hi, Angelina. This is a quick feedback video on the Arabesque. Your you played through the first page. Great, great. That's very important part. And once you got that material you will play part of it later on. Good, important. All the As is the case with most music writing, they do introduce most of the material up at the beginning, and it's just it's elaborating that for all of the first section, and then you have a quite contrasting middle section. I always find Debussy he's a French composer, so he's already got some sort of a dance element to it. He likes the form of sarabande, and and when I look at the middle section, all the the syncopation that you see, I find that to be reminiscent of a lot of the old French dance forms. Back to the beginning of the song. The opening sequence is beautiful, very good. I think you just had one left hand note that was not correct. So it's in sets of 2 beats. So first one, next chord group, and next chord group, next one. So and then so that D sharp, and then the next one was the tie, which is sort of hard to notice because you already have the slur going over it. So I think I sent a photograph of some of the with the notes, that tie over here, and then the tie. So there's a tie from beat 1 to beat 4 to the beat 1 of the next measure. It's just it's a very interesting non-definitive, really. The sort of that special feel. So you're definitely missing the downbeat both times with the right hand on the most treble set of notes. So that's the introduction. Now starting at measure 6. So that's where the 3 against the 2 rhythm, the tricky thing, come up. And your left hand, you've got all the correct notes. I've listened, and it's just a rhythm. And I noticed that you are basing how the right hand plays on the left hand. And it's really hard to get the triplet into the straight 8th on the left hand. So you want to match the left hand against the right hand, so that you get the triplet nice and flowing. So to do that, the right hand, that cascading, the pentatonic, like up and down scale, up and down thing. That is a lot harder than it seems. On paper, it looks so easy, but when you actually play it, there's so you have 3 out of the 5 notes of the pentatonic scale that are black keys, and the 2 that are white. So they're going back and forth, right? So I say that you do want to stick to a fingering, a set of fingering, so that you know how to bring your hand to the necessary position at all times, so that you could basically do it with your eyes closed. The fingering number that was written in the the photograph I sent you, I think they are probably the most comfortable. I've tried different fingering, and I think that one is really the best. And as random as, or just sort of non-continuous as a fingering might seem, you can break that up into several hand positions. Like the very elementary hand position where you have the 5-finger position, and that you just move depending on what segment of the music you're playing. This one, you have your finger in the pentatonic scale, and then the first set, those 5 notes, that's one hand position. Those are the 4 notes that you're playing. You just broke it up into 5 notes. And then next hand position is this. And then those are the 4 notes. And then next one is 1, 3. And then the next. So the first one, next one. Once you have your hands correctly placed on those set of notes, so those are the different parts of that pentatonic scale. That's the that set of notes. So make sure you got your fingers covered. And then after that, you can pick a tempo. I would probably just practice really that part. Really, those two measures and then another 2 measures, so totally 4 measures. Just focus on that for that 2 against the 3 rhythm. And first and foremost, you want to get a solid right hand triplet going. So I may have said maybe a metronome 60. It's a little bit hard to make the triplet flow, so you could probably up the tempo to about 72 and make sure you could do about a 72. Eventually you definitely would be raising the tempo still faster than that to maybe 88 or so. It's an andantino, so it doesn't have to be very fast. I think moderato is about over 100. So andantino con moto, so it's like getting closer to moderato range. But I don't think you would play this any faster than 100, even if you were. I mean, even in most of the recordings. And again, it's Debussy, the tempo does fluctuate quite a bit. But that whole that part is where the tempo is definitely very steady, starting from measure 6 up to measure, I forget what number, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So up until measure 12, that whole part, it's basically, you could keep a steady tempo throughout. And then there comes the stringendo, so you don't want to overdo on the rubato too much. And of course the rubato section is coming up later. So the right hand, let's say so 72. 1 and 1 a la 2 a la 3 a la 4 a la 1. And then just do that a number of times until you got it. And then 1 a la 2 a la ta 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 ta. Left hand straight eighth confuses you, so you can practice like that. Before you practice, when you're practicing the right hand with the metronome, you can just add the left hand first 2 beats. 1, 2, 3, 4. way you get to hear the first dun dun da 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 da, one and two Allah, three Allah, four Allah, and yes, I think once you iron that part out, it might help you get the triplet going at the right pace without getting dragged by the left hand. So try that. Definitely try that. And the metronome, I think, will help um, in getting the right hand triplet as even as possible. So yes, definitely try that. I think once you get the momentum going with the triplet at measure 6, the rest of the first page will probably stabilize, automatically. Well, of course, I mean you can play measure 6 all the way to the end of the end of that page with the metronome. It'll be very good, I think. So that much. I think yeah, I think it'll be very useful. So you would probably want to practice the introduction all by itself because that's all triplet. You would that part you will have no problem keeping the steady rhythm going. I think it's really just that's and that's the first introduction of the straight eighth in this whole song. You don't have a straight eighth until the left hand. It's almost like a pedal tone, good solid bass introduced in the form of straight eighth. So try that. This tempo that I just did was 72. You can try a little bit slower or a little bit faster, whatever that helps you to make sure that you get the hand position good and solid. Those 4 notes, that's the next hand position. And yes, so I think that should help get through. I really cannot say anything else besides just making sure that the right hand hand position is good and you don't when you are unsure of the hand position where the finger should be next, it usually affects how the rhythm goes. So having the hand position just square over the set of notes that you are about to play is really the most important thing. I guess and I think the rest of once you get the good feel for the 2 against the 3, the rest really is just getting getting note reading done. It's and everything flows so well. It's such a beautiful piece. So yeah, continue practicing thusly, and I will I hope to get a video from you in a few more days. Bye.